follow up on that, Shanita. My goodness. It is with great enthusiasm that I am here today to endorse my friend, Shanita Rickman, for the state senate. I was here, I think the last time I was here, Shanita got up and spoke, and I said, man, we need to get her to run for office.
Oh, wow.
She is a ball of fire, and that's exactly what we need. We need something new, and the west part of Louisville needs help, needs something new, and we can't just say we're going to do the same thing we've been doing and expect a different result.
Right.
When we talk about poverty and economic opportunity zones and trying to break the cycle of poverty and drugs and incarceration and same old thing again when people get out of prison,
Right.
we've got to do something different.
Yes.
We're leaving a whole generation behind. The way I look at it is I look at it this way. Of every person you see, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20 is the next genius that's going to invent something.
That's right.
But what's happening to the 1 out of 10 kids here who you're never finding that genius, who don't survive long enough to even to tell whether or not they're going to be that part of that next generation?
Right.
We have to do something about this cycle of poverty, violence, incarceration, and then back again, this cycle. One of the things that I've been trying to do, Shanita mentioned, is something called the TREAT Act. And what this does is there are 1 million people addicted to heroin or other drugs who do not and cannot see a doctor because the federal government, like everything else, messed it up. The federal government says that a doctor can only see 30 patients. Who would set such a stupid rule? The second year, a doctor can see 100 patients. But not every doctor prescribes methadone or Suboxone. This is a replacement treatment for heroin. It's almost impossible to stop heroin or OxyContin or any of these drugs cold turkey. We replace them with something that doesn't get you high, but that allows you to stepwise come off of the drugs. But there's 1 million people waiting for treatment. Look, I'm a doctor in Bowling Green. There's 150 doctors in my community. There might be one that prescribes methadone or Suboxone. There just aren't that many doctors involved in the treatment. So why in the world would we limit how many patients they can see? We're this close to getting it passed. The president actually on his own lifted the number recently because I was bugging him to do it.
All right.
But I'm not opposed to complimenting the president. We don't always agree, but I will compliment him on this. He's lifted the cap, and the cap is higher. Now we need to make it part of law, so hopefully we can save some lives.
Yes. All right.
The economic opportunity zones that Shanita talked about, I'm a huge fan of this. Look, how many people have been telling you, oh, we're going to fix the West Louisville.
Right.
Oh, we're going to bring you jobs and
Right.
years in business.
Come on.
Years and years, decade after decade, you're told the same thing, and it's not working.
That's right.
Under my bill, if we got it passed, $200 million would stay in West Louisville.
Come on.
All
$200
right.
million. Under my bill, we would make West Louisville a tax haven. See, tax havens get a bad name. Now, if it's in the Cayman Islands, we're not necessarily for that. But what if the west part of Louisville were like the Cayman Islands? And what if I had a bank in East Louisville and I said, well, you know, I can build a bank in West Louisville and the bank president would have lower taxes. Well, maybe the bank president would move to West Louisville. And that's a good thing. Our bill also says you have to hire people who live here.
That's
Not
right.
everybody, because you want new people to come in also.
Right.
But at least a percentage of people have to be hired who live here. $200 million every year. Part of our problem, and government will tell us all the time, they say, well, we're going to get a Toyota factory to move to West Louisville. I wish I could tell you we could do that. I'm not sure we can. And it would be false of me to say I can bring it here. But there are businesses in your community that currently make a profit. It's not easy, but they make a profit. If we lower the taxes on the businesses that are already here, what will they do? They can hire another person. So if every employer in the west part of Louisville that has 10 employees had 12, can you see how it grows out and then money stays in the community?
Come on.
Yes.
Ours lowers the corporate income tax. That's for the business. We can't be against businesses because we all work for them. We can't be against rich people because we all work for rich people. So we want them to make more money, so we will make more money. So the corporation's got to make more money. The individual's got to make more money. And for those who are the workers, those who don't pay an income tax, we lower their payroll tax.
All right.
So if you've got your first job and it's at the new Walmart, God, maybe that's a great way to get started. You may not want to stay there forever, but it's a start.
Yeah,
That's
right.
right.
And if we
Come on.
let you
Right.
keep 2% more of your earnings by not having to pay that payroll tax,
Right.
and we tell Walmart they get 2% more, guess what? That's more jobs.
That's right.
And ultimately, if those people have jobs, that's one step away. We talk about how we're going to fix the drug problem. But how are we going to fix the drug problem? Maybe when you get out of high school, you have a job.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's right.
We have to try something new.
That's right.
Shanita is about trying something new.
Fresh.
Yes.
And what I've been saying is, think about it. When Pastor Stevenson gets up here and says what I love to hear about school choice, and then every one of your kids should get to go to the best school in Louisville,
That's right.
when he says that, realize who's voting against that.
Come on.
That's right. That's
Say
right.
that
And I'm not going to
That's
call
right.
any names, but your current state senator is against school choice.
Ooh.
He's against charter schools.
He said,
And we need to say we need something new. And
Need something
Shanita,
new.
you're going to have to go door to door
That's
throughout
right.
your community. You have to tell them, I'm for giving your child the same choice that the president's kids get.
That-
To go to
yes,
the
sir.
school of their choice. Public or private or religious.
That's right.
All right. All
Be
right.
their choice. Be their choice.
And here's the thing is, I've been to some of these schools. I went to the schools that are succeeding. I went to a school called Boys Latin School in downtown Philadelphia. Now it's only 100 kids go. It's run by philanthropy. It's all on scholarship. It's 100 kids, many from broken families. Many only have a mom at home. All 100 kids going to college. And each graduating kid. Every one of them stands up, looks you in the eye, and shakes your hand, and you can tell by looking in their eyes that they are going to succeed.
Oh, yeah.
So the thing is for people to say, oh, well, these poor kids can't learn. They don't have any future. Well, why care? Every one of these kids has a chance.
Right.
Every one of these
That's
kids.
right.
I've met some. Does anybody know anything about the Lincoln Foundation?
Hey.
The
Yes,
Lincoln Scholars in
yes,
town.
yes.
I've met these young men and women, and they will succeed. But why don't we spread something that's helping 100 kids or 200 kids to the whole community?
All right. All right.
We also have to think, as Republicans, we talk a lot about family values. We want moms and dads, and we want churches, and we want all of that stuff that is the glue that holds civilization together. It is difficult, though, and what has happened through the criminal justice system is they've been plucking particularly young men out of the community, young black men out of the community, and putting them in jail. For the same thing that white kids are doing, but are not getting caught. I'm not saying it's good. Some of it's drugs. I'm just saying let's try to figure out another way for nonviolent drug users not to be in jail, but to try to get them to work. To try to get them off of drugs. But let's not put them in prison, because if you've got no dads in your community, I went to Ferguson. In Ferguson, for every 60 black women, no, for every 100 black women, there are only 60 black men.
That's right.
And many of the 40 black men are in prison.
Amen.
So what we have to figure out is another way. We got to get our kids off of
Right.
drugs.
Right.
That's right.
But if you look at the statistics, white kids and black kids use drugs at the same rate.
That's right.
When you look at the prisons, 4 out of 5 people in prison are black or brown.
That's right.
And, you know, I know there's some police here, and I'm not blaming it on the police. The police are doing their job.
That's right.
The police aren't saying, hey, I'm going to go pick up black kids. But there's more crime in West Louisville.
That's
So
right.
the police are here more often, and so the incidental picking up of kids just adds up. It isn't on purpose. It really isn't somebody purposely saying we're going to get black kids, but it's crime and patrol after patrol. But when you look at the statistics, it ends up that way.
That's
But
right.
we got to teach our kids. But I'm not here to tell you we don't have problems in my community. We got problems everywhere.
That's
Drugs are a scourge. White, black, rich, poor, you name it.
That's right.
They are
Amen.
everywhere. But we got to hold. We need the glue that holds us together.
Right.
It's our churches.
That's right.
It's our belief in God. It's our belief in the individual. It's our belief in natural rights that come from our Creator.
That's
And when
right.
we pull together and say enough's enough,
Amen.
the time is for a change.
Enough is
This is
enough.
the year.